In the week since George Floyd's death galvanized a worldwide uprising against racial inequality, social media has become a resounding platform for exposing systemic racism and police violence in a powerful way. Dr. Mia Moody Ramirez is a professor and chair of the Department of Journalism, Public Relations, and New Media at Baylor University. She's an author, researcher, and expert on mass media representation of minorities, women, and other underrepresented groups. She joins us now for a closer look at how social media is being harnessed for change. We so appreciate your time, Dr. Moody Ramirez.
Thank you, Sharon.
Conversations about race inequality have played out for years on social media, but there's a real sense the ground has shifted. Something's changed. Why now?
Well, people think that we've had a watershed moment in history. With the death of George Floyd, we have seen many changes. Many people have rallied around his death. We have seen demonstrations around the world, in cities, in small towns. Even here in Waco, we had a demonstration. In demonstrations, people of all races and ethnicities have rallied around to show their support. We've seen different laws change. We've seen people say that they never thought they would support Black Lives Matter, but now they are. So there's something unique about what's going on, and people don't know if it's because of the COVID-19 pandemic and because people are sitting at home and they have more time to pay attention to what's going on, or if it's just because it's 2020, if it's the year. But there is something different about this particular death.
Well, we are all very tuned in. We see graphic, distressing, documented evidence of racism, extreme police violence, social injustice right before our eyes. How is social media being harnessed differently at this juncture?
Well, previously we have heard maybe that something happened, but we couldn't actually see it with our eyes. But now people are actually recording these cases. So with George Floyd, someone actually had a video camera and they were able to record the police officer with his knee on George Floyd's neck. And it was almost 9 minutes. And they were actually able to record George Floyd saying, "I can't breathe." And he actually called out to his mother. And anyone who heard that, it touched them. And I'm the mother of 2 sons, so it really touched me. But any mother that would, speak to them. So that's another reason that it was very impactful, because he said, "I can't breathe," and he called out for his mother. So video, it adds to the impactfulness of this particular movement because people can actually see it with their eyes. It actually began back when we saw, back when we first began to see these cases, when people began to videotape, like with Rodney King. We saw that, but we had to tune in to the nightly news to see it. But now people are making these video recordings and they're actually showing them on social media. So you don't have to tune into the nightly news. You're actually seeing it on Twitter. You're seeing it on Facebook. You're seeing it on Snapchat, Instagram. So people are accessing it on their cell phone. So that's even more intense because it's on a small screen and it's just you and your small screen. So psychologically, you're connecting with it even more versus if you're seeing it on your TV and you're watching it with your family. So people are connecting with that content even more. So that's another reason it's even more significant today. And so people, when they see that content, they know that it's true because they can see it with their eyes. And they feel like, well, it's happening more and more. But I don't think it's necessarily happening more and more. I think people are just recording it and they're sharing it. So it appears that it's happening more and more. But it's just being shared on social media platforms more.
As a result, as you say, we're beginning to see some real change taking place.
Yes. Some examples of that, we've seen different streets that have been renamed. Even Pennsylvania Avenue has been renamed Black Lives Matter Boulevard. Other streets across the nation have been renamed Black Lives Matter, either Black Lives Matter Avenue or Black Lives Matter Boulevard. Different companies have renamed their products. For example, Aunt Jemima Pancakes is renaming or relabeling its product. Uncle Ben's is thinking about relabeling its product. The AP Style Book, which is what we use in journalism, it has mandated that people should capitalize the letter B for Black people, which is definitely a long time coming. Confederate statues are now coming down across the nation. School districts are requiring that teachers teach more about Black history, that they update their curricula to include more about diversity and inclusion. Universities are making sure that their staff and faculty include more training to make sure that they learn more about the importance of diversity and inclusion. And that means that diversity is not enough. So what people have been doing previously is they have been diversifying, which means they're bringing people in, but when people come in, they don't feel included. And so they may stay for 1 year and then they leave. So you have to have both diversity and inclusion. Inclusion means that they feel included and they feel a part of that company. So we have to have both of those components, both diversity and inclusion. So universities and companies are making sure that they have both of those, diversity and inclusion. So we are going to see a lot more of that in the future.
So some very real, very positive change. Does the movement have the potential to change racial politics and race relations in a lasting way?
We hope so. We have been optimistic previously, and it hasn't panned out, but we feel like this is different. But some examples of when we have been optimistic previously and it hasn't lasted, we talked about Rodney King. Rodney King urged people, why can't we all just get along? And we were peaceful for a little while, but then it fizzled out. Then we were peaceful after Michael Brown's death. We rallied around the Black Lives Matter movement. And then with some of these other deaths, Trayvon Martin's death, we were peaceful for a little while, but then it fizzles out. But this feels different. The death of George Floyd, somehow it feels like this is different. And I don't know if it's because of the COVID-19 pandemic, because we're sitting still, we're at home, we're focusing. Something about this feels different. We are spending time with our families. We are focused on the things that matter right now. We're not able to go out and socialize with our friends. We're not spending time with our coworkers in person. We may be having Zoom meetings, but we're not able to socialize with people in person. So I think people can focus on the things that matter. And also, I think people have challenged their coworkers and their friends. They have put them to the test. If you're really my friend, then you will challenge these systems of oppression. I know for me, my Baylor colleagues, they actually showed up and marched with me. We actually had a couple of peaceful protests in Waco for George Floyd. And several of my colleagues actually marched with me, and that was very important to me. And those who didn't march, they actually showed solidarity by posting comments on social media. You have to speak. You have to speak out. You can't be silent. You have to let people know, what side you're on.
Absolutely. And what began with a hashtag is now a global movement against racial inequality. We thank you so much for taking some time to share your insights with NewsPoint today.